Now, why Hakeem Jeffries can't even fill a Little League field. And that's the subject of the riff. As Senate Democrats keep voting down the House Republicans' clean, continuing res that would keep the government open, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries couldn't even fill a Little League field with his YouTube live stream session. It never drew more than a couple of hundred viewers, watching party members ranting and raving over Donald Trump and the GOP. Greg Gutfeld gets a better audience than Hakeem Jeffries. The round-the-clock telethon had to be ended before it was even halfway over. Meanwhile, a rival White House feed was peaking at around 100,000 viewers, which reminds me, it's so commonplace I nearly forgot about it. Both Democratic congressional leaders, Chuck Schumer in the Senate, Jeffries in the House, are from Brooklyn, New York. Now, unfortunately for them, Brooklyn is not representative of America. Now, I'm not knocking Brooklyn, but to have both leaders from a very left-wing leaning blue county in a heavily blue state seems like the very definition of a narrow-minded, out-of-touch political party. I mean, the national population is moving to the South and the Sun Belt and even the Rockies. It's not exactly Brooklyn, New York. Now contrast that with the Republicans, where Speaker Mike Johnson is from Louisiana, Senate Majority Leader John Thune from South Dakota, and oh yeah, the GOP party leader named Donald Trump, well, he used to live in New York, but he is now a resident of Florida in the South. 3 red states versus 1 dark blue county. No wonder Hakeem Jeffries couldn't beat Gutfeld on his own YouTube views. This whole shutdown story is really about Democrats trying to spend $1 trillion or more on COVID health care benefits to salvage the failure of Obamacare and provide more benefits to illegal immigrants. This is part of the Democrats' war against ICE, which is trying to catch and deport the worst criminals from Biden's wave of illegals. Democrats have chosen to defend the illegals and the criminals rather than ordinary working folks. Senator Bernie Sanders, who's from Vermont but was actually born in Brooklyn, he says that the Trump presidency is the worst crisis in America literally since the Civil War. But wait a minute, there's a war going on in Portland, Oregon right now, as Antifa and other far-left groups continue to violently obstruct law enforcement and attack journalists with impunity. That sounds more like the Civil War to me than President Trump's popular law and order crusade. As for the shutdown, it's really not much of a shutdown. Roughly 2/3 of all federal spending, which is called direct payments for individuals, that's all totals nearly $5 trillion. Well, all that is unaffected by the so-called shutdown. It includes Medicare and Medicaid, Social Security checks, food stamps, veterans benefits, and other so-called mandatory spending. Now, of the remaining 1/3 of federal programs, large swaths of personnel are defined as non-essential. And President Trump now has an opportunity to make the non-essential truly non-essential on a permanent basis. We're all waiting for him to pull the trigger. And that's the riff.